Hey everybody, welcome. Dr. Ray here, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, games. Yeah, I love talking about games. We're going to specifically be focusing on a game authoring tool hosted by the game agency called the Training Arcade. This is a authoring tool that allows you to create, publish, host, and manage multiple types of games. I'm going to show you some of those games. I'm going to show you how you can create them, different ways to publish and host them. I'm going to show you, the arcade itself. I'm going to walk you through the admin side of it to show you how easy it is to manage and create these games. It's pretty cool. I'm excited about this tool. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we have on the screen is the Training Arcade main interface. This is basically what it looks like when one of your users logs in. They see just a bunch of games and they have to pick what they want to do. You can simply buy these games individually as a 3-pack or as a 10-pack. And if you do that, you might not actually see the arcade dashboard. Remember, this is made up of two different sections, a game builder and the arcade dashboard, which is really like a gamification feature set for these. So let's talk about how you actually do this, what it looks like for your users, and all the things that you're seeing on the screen right now. So first thing that you're going to see on the left-hand side, there's a menu. So if you click on your profile picture, which mine is blank right now, you actually can create an avatar. You can select different letters. You can select different objects. Oh, I kind of like the @ symbols, kind of cool. These faces are kind of neat too. So you can pick like all kinds of different stuff. These are kind of funny, actually. I like that. But they have a significant amount of different objects that you can choose from and make that your avatar. You're going to see arcade. You're going to see, and that's basically like just, what you're seeing on the screen. You're going to see your achievements. So as you play through the games, as your users play through, there's all kinds of different achievements, and obviously you can create your own, but these are just some of the ones that are set up here. And you can see I've earned 8 of them so far because I've been playing around with a lot of these games. We have leaderboards. So if there were a team or a number of people from your company using this, there's a leaderboard so they can compete against one another, a little gamification in there. And then there's a sign out. The first thing that happens on the top of the screen, you can see your accuracy. You can see your experience, your games played, your latest achievement, and your challenges won. A challenge is like when you compete against another person, like you can challenge someone to one of the games to see who can do better, which is pretty cool. And then on the right, you can see your leaderboard. So just a couple different ways to get similar information, right? You click on this little question mark up here and it actually walks you through a little tutorial with all the features, which you do see that tutorial the first time you log in as well, but it's just in case they need it. And then there's any messages, like if your admin were to send the user a message. But then we scroll down and we get to the games. All right, so we're going to spin to win. Let's see if we win anything. All right, so we're going to spin. You can win a prize. Let's see what happens. Let's see, am I going to win? What am I going to win? Oh yeah, small prize, 21 experience points. So that's just a free game that goes, you can play it each day and it just adds to your experience, but it's kind of a draw to get the people to continue to want to play. Now, you can see that there are a bunch of games on the screen here. So one of the first things I do want to mention here is that there are types of games here that are geared towards factual information and some geared towards more like simulation, problem solving, transfer. So depending on what your goals are and what you're actually, are you trying to teach content? Are you simply trying to assess? It's going to depend, you're going to choose the game type based on what you actually want to do. But the good thing is there are options for each one of those kinds of, scenarios. You're just trying to do some factual, assessment of your learners, you can do that. You're trying to do more of like a simulation or have them actually really learn something or have them solve a problem, you can also do that. So, there's various levels, various game types based on what your actual goals are. And one of the things I do want to mention too, before I show all these games, someone might ask, well, why do I care about having games in training anyway? And just a reminder, the research right now, first of all, the research shows that this motivates users, which is in of itself enough to make you actually want to utilize games in any of your training content. But the other reason, and I did a very large study of this with thousands of people recently that I've published, is that playing games, even if they're games for fun, increase learner achievement, because that motivation from playing the game and the fun from playing the game carries over into the learning aspect. So there are many reasons why I'm a huge advocate of games and gamification in learning, not just because I love playing video games. All right, so let's get started and check out some of these games. So I want to just really quickly, you can see I've got a bunch of different kinds of games here. So I'm not gonna go into detail and play each one of these, though I'd like to just play each one of these in front of you. I am gonna show you and talk about kind of what each one is quick. So first of all, on the left-hand side here, we've got your journey and your mission. I click on the journey. First of all, you see this beautiful mountain range picture, which I really like, but think of this like you're trying to go on an actual journey. There are multiple steps, between 2 and 8 different steps that you can add to the screen, which are basically challenges or games. These are really like activities. So the journey itself's not a game, but it can involve multiple games, and you have to go through and perform each one. You can add videos to this, PDF files, all sorts of different media, and basically you choose the path that the learner goes on. And the thing is, like before they move past stage 1 or 2 or 3, they have to do the previous stage. So for example, to get to level 8, you have to do all the other ones right before that. So that's kind of a key to the journey, because we also have something called missions, and missions are very much just like journeys, except, well, we don't have the beautiful mountain range picture, which I really like. It reminds me of climbing Mount Everest, which is super cool. But it's the same kind of thing, except it's not an actual journey. They don't have to complete one before the other, but it does tell them all the stuff they should be completing that day. And you can also win prizes as they set things up. There are various types of prizes that you can win. Basically, that's set up on the back end. I'm going to show you that a little later, so we are going to get to that, I promise. But yes, you can actually set up like different kinds of, whether it's a gift card, whether it's something at work, whatever you want it to be, you can set up prizes. So we'll get there, just hang on. All right, so let's talk about these other games, because they're each, they're different types and they're very specific. So Sort It is basically a game very similar to like flashcards or memory. You can see these topics aren't necessarily mine. These are all examples. Basically what you do is you pick the card and pick where it actually fits into treatment, disease, or echo. So I pick, and I can pick where it is. When I'm done, I would click submit and it would tell me if I was right or wrong. All right, pretty cool. That game's really geared towards memory and organization of content. So the detective game is a deductive reasoning game. It kind of reminds me of simulation-like, but it's really about problem solving and reasoning skills. You can see there are several parts of this. The case, where you're presented a case, you're presented some evidence, and you're presented what the suspects of the evidence could be, how you would eliminate them, and finally, see your end and statistics of the game. But I'll just show you really quick what the game kind of looks like. But you can see there's a case, fashion writer needed. And you can see then they give you the problem, and then basically you go through and you learn. There can be videos in this game. There can be graphics, sounds, basically really any type of content you want. So this is a great simulation for teaching. All right. Next game is Recall. It says the name of the game is Recall, but it's not necessarily just memorization. It's really testing, multiple skill sets. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's scroll through these directions really quickly. So basically what they're asking me to do is look on the screen at this picture and identify, health and safety of food, what's right and what's wrong. The longer I take, the less points I actually claim. So that, they're asking things like, is the person wearing gloves? Is the refrigerator door open? That kind of stuff. So I'm trying to identify things in the picture. So it's really a learning and assessment type game. And then you pick and submit, and it goes through and tells you what you did right or wrong. Okay, next game. Scenarios. So Scenarios is a simulation-based game that walks you through a scenario and you make choices based on what's happening. So let's go through really quick. You watch a little video. They want you to watch the video here. We're going to click continue, and then you get to this point where you start to have choices, and you can basically like walk someone through the guest experience at this hotel, which is pretty cool. It's a very easy, quick simulation to set up. We have Jump. Jump is a pretty fun game, and I could probably play this game for a really long time. Basically what you're doing is So here's what I like about this game. This game basically is very simple. I'm using the arrow keys to jump this guy around to various sections of the screen. But as he jumps, if you jump on certain things, there's a learning and question element involved in it, which is pretty cool. So someone might ask, and I already explained this, well, why can't I just like, why does this need to be a game? Like, why can't I just present someone like these questions and content? As I explained, the motivation of playing a game like this, and I'll probably repeat this like 10 times throughout this because I tend to really reiterate this point. The motivation from playing an engagement caused by playing a game like this assists in the learning process. Someone will actually learn better by learning the content and being able to score higher on achievement tests after playing. A simple game like this can actually cause someone to do better. It's amazing, and I get it because it's actually fun. Because all of a sudden, I'm not just sitting there doing nothing. I actually went through a piece of training earlier in this week, and the whole time I was like, can I just get through this? At least with this, I'm not asking myself that question. I'm actually saying, well, how far does this go? Well, I got the question right by guessing. And I blast off, and I'm like, how high can I get? And can I get to the leaderboard and actually beat someone else's score? Like, I actually start to care about that stuff. And the thing I like about all these games is they're simple enough that you don't have to be like a gamer to understand what's going on. Everyone's going to be able to understand what's going on. But they're also fun enough that someone like me who's playing, advanced serious games for fun all the time actually will sit down and have some fun with it too. Okay, quickly, let's go through the rest of these. So we have Match. Match is actually a really cool game. I love the idea behind this game. This is a really fun one for me. Probably one of my favorite ones out of the ones that I'm playing. And I'll explain why. Because basically what you're doing is there's a learning portion of it, right? So, okay, so we get the question, we're going through, we're taking these assessment tests, so let's say I just went through some training and I'm taking the assessment and this is the training. Well, here's what's kind of cool. Come on, let's get to okay, so in between the training, I get to actually play a miniature game, which, as I said, even playing a game that doesn't necessarily have an instructional element helps me learn. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match 3 things here. So I can do this various ways like that. And this is actually a lot of fun. I could probably play this game. It's really addicting. I could play this all day. That's my issue with all games. I tend to really enjoy oh yeah, I can only go up and down and left and right. I tend to really enjoy them and get pretty competitive. Let's see. Okay, have you seen enough of me play this game? Sorry, I could just sit here and play it for quite a while, so I'm not going to do that. Let me show you the rest, too. And obviously you see Jeopardy here, which you probably all know. All right, so we've got Scramble. Now, this is a simple recall game where you're basically, like, scrambling a word, like unscrambling it. So this kind of game is fun when, you can play, like, especially for, like, time and score against other people. But you can see, like, trying to pick the letters, like, what is the word. Very simple game, geared towards recall. We have Trivia. All right, let's start Trivia. This is a game about diversity in the workplace. And you can see, like, each game has its own intro and kind of, like, to do it. So, they give you a question, a scenario, and you're going to choose your choices. I'm just obviously picking any answer. That one was wrong. I got a random answer correct. Yes. All right. So you can see the example. You can see how there's, like, images in each of the screens, like professional images and everything. And then finally we have Jeopardy. And I will mention, and I'll probably mention this again too, is that this is the actual, like, they have the real Jeopardy voices and sounds. The game agency is actually the only company that has the rights to actually play a real Jeopardy game in training. So if you are playing Jeopardy any other way, this is the actual licensed version of Jeopardy, and they're actually coming out with Wheel of Fortune as well. So these are the real licensed versions from the company that holds the rights to Jeopardy. So let's play Jeopardy for a second, because you'll see what I mean when I say like this is the real version. Like they're allowed to use the real logo, the real music, the real voices. This is about cybersecurity. So you can see that the game actually has the real pictures and everything. It's pretty cool. You know, you pick. They give you a couple seconds, you see the question, and then you choose your answer.
That's correct.
All right, 200 points. I got it right. Maybe I should be playing Jeopardy professionally. Anyway, that was just a sample. So that's Jeopardy. Pretty cool, right? And then they're coming out with Wheel of Fortune, which I'm really excited to see. And it's kind of funny. So this company, game agency, so when I first started using this tool, they didn't have all these games. It seems like they're really coming out with a lot of new stuff on here. So it seems like they're always continuously working on this and adding to it, which is something I do like to see companies support and continue to add to software that I purchase or use. Just shows me that it's alive and moving and not something that's going to be, you know, just not used anymore. Like I want to know that when I'm getting something that is continuously updated and added to. So I think that's really important to look at and something that I did like about the software. All right, so that's the arcade. So this is what the end user sees. Now let's go into the back end of this and start to talk about, you know, how would I modify, edit, and what are some of the real features that like an administrator or someone considering making this purchase might want to think about. Now we'll talk a little bit about prices at the end as well. How much does this cost? All right, cool. Next step. You ready? Let's go to the admin side. So right now you're seeing the admin side. There are really two admin sides here. There's the admin side for the games and like system in general. And then there's the admin side for the arcade, which is what I just showed you. All right, so first let's kind of start from the top here. So if I'm at the top, I see my games. I can see all my statistics for my games, like average duration people are playing. You know, some of these like learning analytics are really important for engagement, learner motivation. Are they using this? All that kind of stuff. You can export those statistics as well. Then I can create a new game here, but I can also create a new game on the left-hand side here. And then I can actually click a game and see the statistics for that game specifically. You can see I can also see the leaderboard for that game. I can edit that game and see the permissions for that game. And I'm going to show you what like editing a game and like creating a game looks like, because I think that's pretty important. And I also want to show you like how you export a game, because the games are SCORM compliant. They do run in things like Articulate and Captivate, if you're wondering. And I'll actually show you how to do that really quick. I'll show you how to put them in when I export one of them. All right, so we have new game where we create a game, and I'm going to show you that in a sec. We have the arcades, which is basically, you know, what that end user saw. So I'm going to show you that too, but let me just go through this admin panel really quick, just so you can see it. And then let's go to the fun part, which is creating a new game, right? So we can assign instructors, users, player lists, like that. There are different sections of your company, like, you know, managers, employees, that kind of stuff. Like you want to separate people out. And then basically your main settings. You can add it to Slack, which is pretty cool. Give your company a name, logo, that kind of stuff. And then there's a help menu, which is basically like a frequently asked questions thing and a tutorial. All right, so let's go to the fun part. We ready to create a game? Ready to do something fun? Because creating a game is actually pretty fun. It's super simple. This is kind of like the big part of this is that it's very easy to actually create a game, which is super important. Okay, let's do something, a fun one, Jeopardy, right? That's the one everyone knows. Let's do Jeopardy. All right, so we're going to create a Jeopardy game. So if I click save right now, you're going to see they're going to tell me all the errors on the screen. Like I haven't filled everything out because I have to fill out some basic information. So first, the game information. Do I want this to be single player, instructor led? In each game, just remember, has its own options. I'm not walking through each one of these games because we would be here for like, you know, a long time going through every single one. Just going through, so like, you know, raise Jeopardy game. Oh, we get to see how bad I spell like when I'm not like thinking. Okay. URL. So what I want it to be called, they give me one. That's fine. That's a fine US URL. Default language. And then they give me some questions like time per question, let's say 30 seconds, set a default timer, percentage to get correctly, let's just say 80. Obviously you choose, limit the number of sessions they can play. Do I want to learn more URL, like extra, or like a tutorial they go through first before they're going to play the Jeopardy game? So you have to think about all of that stuff. Like, how am I implementing this game? What is the order that it comes in? Like, are they going through a tutorial first and then playing a game and that kind of stuff? So that's where you would enter this stuff in. Informational, do I want a title, information pop-up? We don't need that for now because I'm really just showing you what this interface looks like. User registration, no authorization, and do I want to show the leaderboard? Sure, we'll show the leaderboard. So I'm going to click play. Oh, I can also pick my company upload logo or text or anything like that. They have the Jeopardy theme playing. I'm going to click save. If I didn't do everything right, it's going to, oh, where's my error? Oh yeah, because I did a player list and I don't actually have a player list. Let's click save. It should work. Perfect. So now we're in the real part of editing the game, because that was just the basic introductory information, which I can still see right here if I need to change it at all. You can see they've automatically by default put the Jeopardy logo and symbol in there. So here's all the information I just completed, and then there are questions and publish. So questions. So you know the rules of Jeopardy. You got Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy, and Final Jeopardy, right? So what they're going to ask you to do is enter in all of your questions and answers for your Jeopardy and set like the amount, like, add your categories. Like, we were just talking about the category, the sample Jeopardy game we were playing was cybersecurity. So it could be, about like VPN, and the next one could be about like, internet safety and using public Wi-Fi. Those could be your categories or something like that. So I would add my categories. How many tiles per category? Like, so that's like, do I want like 100, 200, 300, 400 kind of thing? So category 1 would be like, VPN. And then I would have my clues. So this will be a multiple choice or text input. I like multiple choice for Jeopardy, but you can use text input. Do I want an image or a video? So you can add that stuff if it's part of it. If you've ever watched Jeopardy, sometimes they do use videos and stuff like that. I can add my clue text, like, VPN that is not secure. Oh, so we're looking for a company name of VPN that's not secure? I can name a few. Use a timer for this question, 30 seconds. That's fine. What's my opening phrase? Like, what is a company? Let's say what is. Let's just say VPN. There we go. So our clue text is VPN. What is? So what is a VPN? And then we put our choices, which we want them to be like a way to secure your Wi-Fi, your internet connection. Another choice could be like, something that makes absolutely no sense, like a place to plug in your computer keyboard, something that makes no sense, that kind of thing. Then we can add up to 4 choices. And we have 2 here. And do we want like any feedback or advanced feedback for the learner? So you can provide some good, this is a place for learning. And then you do the same for Double and Final Jeopardy. When you're done, you go to publish. You have a game URL, and I'll actually show you a full game that's been made. I'll show you the game URL. I'll show you how to actually implement, put that right into Articulate or Captivate. Super easy. You use the game URL. You just copy it and paste it in. Super easy. Or you can publish this game via Scramble. Now, here's the thing about all of these games. So I can publish this via Scramble to put it into an LMS. I can publish my entire arcade, what I showed you in the beginning, as Scramble and put that into an LMS. Or I can simply just use the game agency's training arcade. It's basically a content management system / LMS that I can just use this, and I don't actually need to incorporate this into an LMS if I don't need to. So I could just like put a link to it within my LMS or in my training piece. That's totally up to you as the end user how you're going to do that. But that's it. We're done. We can play the game right now. We can save, copy. That's it. That's how easy it is. I mean, obviously, it takes time to write in your questions, but I'm just showing you how simple and easy it is to actually just create a game. Pretty easy, right? We don't need to save that. All right, so let's go to our games and let me show you how easy it is to do some of this stuff. So, all right, so we have, oh yeah, my Jeopardy game. Yeah, we don't need to use that. Let's go to a better Jeopardy game. Oh, let's pick any game. Let's do Financial Jump because that was the jump game I have an unbelievable amount of fun for. So I click it and remember, it shows you who's been playing it, how many times, all that cool stuff, right? But if I want to incorporate this game, like let me show you how to put it into Articulate. Super easy. Articulate, Captivate, Adobe Captivate, Articulate Storyline. Super easy to pop these right into. So I'm just simply going to go to Edit Game. I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to open up Articulate. All right, so I've got Articulate Storyline open. Really, this literally takes 1 second to incorporate this into Captivate or Articulate. So easy. This is just, I have a blank slide, blank movie open. I'm going to click Insert, Web Object. I'm just going to enter that URL that I copied. I can just say how I want it. Do I want to display it in a new browser window? I'll just display it right in the slide and have it load automatically. That's how easy this is. I click OK. That's it. I'll even publish it to show you what it looks like quick. All right, here's my Articulate movie published. You can see right here's the game. So easy to do, right? Took literally 1 second to incorporate it. Same thing with Captivate. Really easy to get these games. You can see the game works, all that stuff. It links right in. Super easy to do. So I just wanted to show you that just because it's really easy and I think it's important for people to see. So now that you've seen how easy this is to put in Articulate, Captivate's the same way. Let me show you really quick. And just a reminder, this also works in Lectora too. So we've got Articulate, Captivate, and Lectora. This software kind of just jumps right in. Super easy. It's basically exactly like the Articulate is. So let's see, I click on my game, I click Edit Game. Again, just like Articulate, I'm going to copy the link. Copied. We're going to go into Captivate. I'm just going to click a blank project to make this really easy. Click Create. We're just going to do a quick 1 slide project to make this super easy for you. So once we're in Captivate, we're going to click Objects. And I'm going to click Web. Okay, so all that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go right over to my properties of the object, the web object, and I'm just going to paste the link right in. Got the game in. That's it. That's all I actually need. Look, it's actually working right now. I don't even need to preview it. It's actually playing right now. And I can change the size and mess around with it. I don't even need to preview it or publish it to see that it's going to work. But you can see that it works. And it readjusts itself for scalability and resolution. I can go to preview, I could go to publish and actually play it, but that's it. That easy to add this game in Articulate, Captivate, and Lectora. So that's creating games. You can see how easy it is. You can see it's pretty simple on the admin side to do this. And you saw the user side, which is the first thing that we showed. You can play these games single player, team, or head-to-head. So right now, the games that you can play multiplayer are the Trivia and Jeopardy. And if you have that feature set, you can challenge like colleagues, peers, anyone else who's set up on your system. So remember I showed you the arcade, right? This is what the end user sees when they're looking at all the games combined that you've created for them, right? Not just like one game. Because you can just create one game for the user. As I showed you, like you can put it into your LMS, put it in Articulate, Captivate, or have them play it right here. Okay, so how do we actually administrate this part? So we've created all our games, we've got it all set up, and now we're ready for our arcade. So we can create multiple arcades. Like if you have different kinds of users and stuff like that, you can create multiple arcades. But we click the arcade. Right now, this is a arcade that I have. As soon as I go in, the first thing I see are all the data analytics. I can see the accuracy, top 10 list, engagement, leaderboards, solo games, battles, users, and spin to win. So, and then I can click on any of these to give me more analytics. How much and what have different players done? What kind of activities have they went through? And then we talk about, remember, the journeys and the missions, and I can see all of those as well. So really cool, lots of analytics. So if you're looking for data, there's lots of learning analytics here. And then very easy, this administrates the arcade. We've already created our games, And now we can, put them in and basically administrate what we want this to actually do and function like and look like. So we have our basic settings, which is we have our URL. Now remember, I can take this whole entire arcade and import that as SCORM compliant and put that into an LMS or wherever I need to put it as well. We have our URL, what kind of registration is there? Like single sign-on, we have direct registration right now. How do I want learners to get experience? How do I want them to get, like, if someone challenges them, do I want them to get an email knowing that they've been challenged? What kind of logout inactivity? Basic settings. We have registration where I can register people, I can add them, I can upload a list, just depending on what I need to do. Then I have player lists. If I've created any player lists, I have all the activities that I have. So all the activities are all of the games. So I can add games. You can see I can go through. These are some of the games that I've recently created that aren't here yet that I might want to add. So like automatically pulls up like the ones I just did that aren't here. I can add them, and I can set some customizable settings for each game. Like I can add a different window here for the image of it if I want to, or change the timer. And then I can disable or remove games as needed. Here's where I create my journeys and missions. And just so you know, like I can upload like things like a PDF to this if needed. So you can add like different kinds of content to these as needed. We can create prizes. We have the score and the achievements, but you can add things like if your company wants to add like a $25 gift card or win this prize or something like that. That's where you would do that here. Very easy to do. And here's where you could change your theme to customize it a little bit to fit in with your company. So you got like a background image, upload your logo, and then you would launch your arcade. Very simple. So on the admin side, it's very basic, but it has all the, that feel of, hey, we have all the things we actually need. So yeah, that's it. Those are my my thoughts, my me going through, like walking through this. So let's take a look at the prices. I'm always hesitant to show prices because they can change, but I do just want to at least review them. If you're looking at this like a year from now and the prices are different, that's just because they may have changed, and that happens. So for a single game, it's a $2,000 per year. That includes up to 1,000 different players. And then for all the games and basically the whole package, the whole shebang, everything, $17,500, that's per year, for up to 1,000 players. So you can see that this is designed for many people to be playing these, incorporated into training a lot and used. I mean, it's a whole entire system. You're really paying for a content management system, LMS, and game creator, all basically in the same package, which is pretty cool. So, let me talk about my overall thoughts of the whole entire thing. So I think that the games are fun. I've talked a little bit about my research, my opinion, what I think about, incorporating games and gamification into training. And, if you're watching me or watching my channel, that that's something I'm all about. So I don't even need to restate that for people. But, for anyone new here, know that, there is research backing up and supporting this. I think that they've done a really good job of creating an easy to use platform for game creation. I think they're doing a good job of keeping the content fresh and up to date by continuously adding new games and new options, which I really like. The Detective is a rather new one, and then they're going to be adding Wheel of Fortune. So there's all kinds of different options and things being created. I'm really excited about that the Jeopardy actually is licensed. That's very important to me as I create more professional training for large businesses. That licensing is important, and they're going to have the same thing for Wheel of Fortune, and they're actually the only company that has that, which is kind of interesting and fascinating that is the case. I do like the interface for the end user. I'm glad that it can be incorporated into an LMS. It's SCORM compliant, SCORM packageable. I'm also glad that it can be incorporated into Captivate and Articulate. Those would be like my main big questions can I publish this into an LMS, and is this compatible with Articulate and Captivate? So, it does cover those main bases. I do like some of the extra things, like the little gamification elements, like the achievements, leaderboard, and competition element. I think those are all good features. So I hope you enjoyed my review. I covered a lot here because there's a lot here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. I tell you to go try it out. I think it's worth a shot to see if this is something that you can incorporate into your training. So have a good day, everybody. See ya.